Bros, sister bros, welcome to the Dando channel. Please have a seat, relax, kick up your feet. Today we're going to be talking about some absolute piping hot millennial cringe that's been flooding my For You page lately. Can't get enough of it. Fascinated by this topic. This is called child-free movement. These are people whose entire platform is the fact that they do not have children. They're never going to want to have children. Okay, they're doing other things with their time. And now on the surface, like, that is chill. That is fine. This life we're all living, you can make decisions. I do that every day. You can make decisions. But what I find fascinating about this topic is that they really want you to know this one specific thing about them. It's not like their platform is like scuba diving and they just happen to not have kids. Their whole platform is just don't have kids. That's my thing. And I've just noticed this more and more, and so I wanted to talk about it today. So we're going to be reacting to some Instagram reels of these people. Yeah, so without further ado, let's dive on in.
How do you know you don't want kids if you don't have them? I don't want chlamydia. I don't have that either.
Okay, I wanted to start with maybe something a little light right off the cuff. Lovely lady goes by the name Zumi. She's the girl with the list. She's a cat lady reminding you to take your birth control. Now, right off the rip, I'm just going to say she's very funny. She has a charming personality. They're not all going to be like this, but comparing children to an STD is really something.
Uncommon reasons people are deciding not to have kids. These are all coming from the comments on my last video, so if you have a reason you want to share, put it down below. I'm a nanny, and that ruined having kids for me. I don't know how, like, teachers and childcare workers do it. Imagine taking care of kids all day and then coming home to take care of more kids. Y'all are God's strongest soldiers for real. My dad has told me again and again that I will change my mind because I'm a woman, and that's what I'm here for. Guess who is never getting a grandchild? Women are not incubators.
Dads say some wild stuff. I've seen it. I've seen it in the wild. You shouldn't say that to your daughter, dude. Women do give birth to children. Without that, we would have no society. Basically, there would be no humanity without that. But also, like, you can do other things, too. Because some women can't have kids. Some women, like, you know, these don't want kids. And that's cool, too. I understand wanting a grandchild, but also, like, I don't know, maybe be a little chill about it. You do wonder, like, how many people are still living in like the year 1839. You ever talk to someone and it just like blows your mind and you're like, oh wow, yeah, like that's still out there.
Dog doesn't like kids and my cat is allergic to kids. Funny story, a friend of ours gave us their cat because she was not getting along with the kids in their house. Child-free icon.
This whole millennial thing of like being dog mom, cat mom. So it is the most, for those of us who do have kids, offensive thing to compare your pets. You'll have somebody who's like, oh yeah, like raising my dog, it's just like having a kid, and they don't have kids and they have a dog or they have a pet, and I just want to be like, I can't explain how upset that makes me in that moment. My doggo. So stupid.
One just says, too broke. Yeah. My friend said, I realized I don't want a child, I wanted my own childhood. I always say, even though I don't have kids, I do have a child to take care of, and it's my inner child.
Inner child. I cannot wait until the day that people stop saying this or this becomes no longer a thing. You're an adult, you're an adult. We all gotta grow up. We take your licks, move on. I don't know, like millennials, we're in our 30s. At some point, it's no longer cute to be like, my inner child.
I'm afraid that being pregnant would take away my identity and my body would never belong to me again. That is one of my biggest reasons as well. Take your birth control. I will see you tomorrow.
It probably is pretty wild to like give birth to a human being. Ladies, if you've had a baby, what does that feel like? Let me know in the comments. Do you feel like your body still belongs to you? Does it not feel like your body belongs to you? Okay, anyway, that's Zumi, the girl with the list. So if you need reasons to justify to yourself why not to have kids, maybe she's someone that you can, I don't know, look up or whatever. I don't really know what else to say. On to the next influencer. We're going to be talking about, I think it's the Dink podcast. What's this called? Dinky podcast. Dink, if you don't know, is a term which means double income, no kids.
Statistics don't lie. Married mothers are happier than single women. In the U.S.
Home to the American dream!
Study in 2004 by Daniel Kahneman, a Nobel Prize winner, looked at hundreds of mothers in Texas. These women ranked activities by pleasure, and they found that raising children was 16 on a list of 19. Only evening commute, working, and morning commute ranked lower. In the book, All Joy and No Fun, children provoke a couple's most frequent arguments. More than money, more than work, more than in-laws, more than annoying personal habits, more than anything. In a study from 2016, sociologist Jennifer Glass and her colleagues looked at 22 countries and looked at parents versus non-parents. Happiness gap between parents and non-parents was largest in the United States. of all 22 countries. And in 2 studies from 1983 and 1981, parenting reduces happiness even though parents think it'll make them happier. In his seminal work, Meanings of Life, Roy Baumeister tells us that there are 2 happiness peaks in the lives of adult Americans. Between the wedding and the birth of the first child, and between the departure of the last child from the home and the death of one spouse. Parents are happiest when their kids are not at their house. And in Psychology Today, single women without children are often happier and healthier than men and married women with children. I guess you're right. The statistics don't lie.
Speaking as someone who I myself do have children, if your primary reason for having kids is to be happy or that you think it's going to cause you happiness, I would recommend not doing it for that reason. It's not really the reason to have children. I don't know where I heard this, but I've kind of always said this to myself. Being a parent is easy. Being a good parent is incredibly difficult. If you think, oh, this is just going to make me happy and fulfilled because Disney movies told me that getting the romantic thing at the end, that was going to make me happy. Well, that's a lie. You have to come to a sense of fulfillment and a sense of fullness in your life outside of those extrinsic relationships, because anything can change in your life to change those externalities if you think about it. Like your spouse could get sick and die. Something could happen to one of your children. They could get sick and die. Happens all the time to people. And so if you anchor too much of your happiness in some externality that's outside of your control, then you're going to be in trouble because something could happen and that could destroy whatever sense of fulfillment you have. And so you do have to be very careful. And I would say that this is true with any kind of decision that you make in life. You know, raising kids is hard. It's a lot of work. And if you're doing it just to experience happiness, I think you're trying to use the existence of another person for your own fulfillment in kind of a selfish way, honestly. And I think that could lead you into some pretty dark places. If you're not careful and at the end of the day, you're just using it for your own, happiness, you could find, well, if that doesn't bring the exact emotional high that you're looking for, well, then how are you going to feel about your kid?
I just saw something that said God was created by man because man hated that life was created by women. And I think anyone that disagrees with that can argue with a wall.
To take that one step further, I think that's why a certain demographic of men hates when women choose not to have children. Because for them, they can't comprehend the idea that you would have inherent power and choose not to act on it.
Okay, hold on. Wow. This has got some parts to it. So let's try to break this down here. I just read somewhere that God was created by man because. Okay. In some sense, I can sympathize with this view of like religion and whatever. But on the other hand, like if this is what you think, I mean, you better be real sure that you're right. Because if you're not, may the peace of the Lord always be with you. All right, let's break that next part down. Men hated that life was created by women. I'm picturing like these prehistoric people, they're wandering around in the wilderness, and the men in the tribes are just like so mad that women are having babies. This is so interesting. Here's what I'll say. I've been in the delivery room before, and I think most men can relate to the fact that when you see the pain that a woman goes through in order to deliver a human life, you're not really feeling envious. You're not really feeling like, you're feeling like, whew, dodged a bullet. Glad that's not me. But I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know. Maybe those prehistoric guys, I don't know. Maybe they were super jealous of. Okay, let's take the second part of this.
Take that one step further. I think that's why a certain demographic of men hates when women choose not to have children. Because for them, they can't comprehend the idea that you would have inherent power and choose not to act on it.
A certain demographic of man doesn't like when women decide not to have children. I mean, look, it could be. The social role of having children is so inherently valuable because if that stops, then humanity stops. All this stuff we're experiencing, culture, buildings, jobs, sports, movies, like if there's no people to do any of these things, then all of it goes away. But it's interesting that that role is so devalued in our society because we're so materialistic, and if you're not directly producing like Bugattis and like Gucci bags or something, that you're inherently less valuable. That's like this whole like high value man, high value women terms is so stupid and cringe to me because it's like we all have inherent value, and somebody's not more valuable just because they create more wealth or they have more wealth. That's such a shallow and stupid and materialistic way of looking at people. It just depresses me to no end that people use that term without any irony whatsoever. But I also think on the flip side, there's kind of this weird feedback loop I've noticed with these influencers where it's like the more they put put out that they don't want to have kids. I wonder what that does to your ego when you hear men tell you that you should have kids. Like, does that make you feel like, oh, they want to, like, is that like some weird head trip where you're thinking, man, people really care about my uterus? Part of that is happening here as well, is like there's this feedback loop of guys commenting being like, no, you should have kids, and these women who don't want to have kids are like, yeah, you want me to, but I don't. And it's like this weird cat and dog game, because like personally I don't care if you have kids, like you decide whatever you want to do, but there is like this message being preached of like not having kids. I think is kind of odd, because it's like if this does become normalized, then like humanity ends. Okay, let's go to the final boss. This is the final boss of the child-free cat ladies. This is Tiffany Marie. Oh, I just can't wait until you guys get to see some of this.
I saw this reel the other day, and this is why I don't put any stock into men coming onto my page and commenting on how I'm gonna regret not having kids, or I don't know what love is like until I have a child. Because this person says, I don't think you truly understand how ugly the world is until you're trying to protect your child from it. And yes, as a man, I'm guessing that's probably true, but as a woman, I was raised being told how ugly the world is. I also learned a few tips and tricks along
Raised being told? I mean, I feel like there's a lot to unpack there. Raised that way?
the way on my own, because I'm a woman, and the world is very unsafe for me. I learned that I have to carry a safety keychain when I'm hiking, even during the day, because that's very dangerous. I learned that walking at night alone is very dangerous, and there's absolutely no way I should put headphones in. I learned to hold my thumb over the top of a beer bottle in case someone thinks it's fun to drug me. I learned that if I reject a man, he will likely become angry, hostile, violent, and start name-calling at the very least.
If you reject a man, angry, hostile, and violent at the least? Ladies, is that true? If you reject a guy, does that, I mean, are guys like pushing your, I mean, I've only been hit on by a couple gay dudes in my life. I mean, you know, I'm sure that exists somewhere, but is that like super common?
I learned that early development in my body meant that I would get hit on by grown men when I was only 15. They never asked my age. I learned that my looks were a high indicator of my worth. I got jobs because I was conventionally attractive. I got more opportunities. People were nicer to me. It's actually quite disgusting.
People are nice to me, so that's disgusting because I'm so pretty.
So yes, we know how ugly the world is. We actually don't need to have children to learn that. And you should count yourself lucky that you're only learning that now.
I'm going to treat Tiffany in this reel like she's a guy in the spirit of equality. This is absolutely a dick move. Like, this is like your buddy's like, hey, you know, I'm thinking about running a half marathon. And you're like, I actually ran a full marathon. Is just trying to share with the world, like, how much he loves his son. And like, yes, as a dad, you absolutely feel this. I can testify to the fact that, like, at being a father, you feel a lot of conflicting feelings. The world is a harsh place, and you see your kid go through it, and watching your kid go through any amount of suffering is very difficult. This goes back to the other reel about happiness and why having kids isn't necessarily going to give you the kind of happiness that you think, because when you see them struggle or go through hard things, it directly, I mean, it's like your heart is on the outside of your body. It's just, it's impossible. It's so difficult. And this dad is trying to share this tender moment with the world. And Tiffany's like, well, actually, it's just, dude, it's just, what a dick move, dude. Like, just get over yourself. Like, you don't have to one up everybody. Like, this dad is just trying to figure it out. And it's like her brain just cannot fathom the fact of like a dad, like a good dad out there just trying to be a good dad. And it just scrambles her. Well, actually, being a woman is like way tougher. Quit one upping. He's just so petty. There's a lot more to get through.
I really don't think anybody could ever convince me that the way we set up society is a good way, because it's Wednesday morning at 9:46 a.m. and I have my camera and I'm going on a nature walk, and you can't tell me that taking care of kids or going to a job is better than this.
Tiffany is the queen of like the millennial, like looking at the camera like, I'm getting to go on a nature walk and take pictures, therefore society is set up the wrong way. Like, Tiffany, you're living the dream. Can you just shut up? Like, why oh my gosh, like, Oh, I hate this so much. It's like, I don't understand how you could get this way. I don't get it. I'm on a nature walk, and life would be better if every plumber and electrician and person that's keeping society going, if we all just went on nature walks. I guess we'd still be like in the prehistoric age. We just all took walks and nobody ever built anything. Tiffany's just out here walking while you're in your cubicle slaving away, trying to provide for your family. She just wants you to know that she's out here walking. She feels bad for you, though. She wishes society were different. Sorry, bro. Oh, okay. Tiffany's got so many juicy ones. We're just going to hang on this for a while. That's why she's the final boss.
Hello, good morning. I have the best news.
Good morning, Tiffany. What's your news? Can't wait to hear.
A friend of mine sent me an article that links to this study. Cats are securely bonded to their people too. The study essentially says that pets bond the same way children do. So one way to study human attachment is to observe an infant's response with a reunion, blah, blah, blah. They've done these tests on primates and dogs, and they decided to do it on cats. And not surprisingly, the results showed that cats bond in a way similar to infants. 65% of infants are securely attached to their caregiver, and 65% of cats are also securely bonded to their people.
So she's doing a little sleight of hand here. She's saying that the quality of the connection is the same when the study is actually saying the frequency of the connection is the same. So, like, Tiffany, I know you can read a scientific study. Like, 65% of the time your cat is bonding with you, 65% of the time the infant is bonding with you. That doesn't mean the quality of the connection is the same or even similar. Am I taking crazy pills here?
So all those people saying, you don't know what love is, you don't have a child, whatever. My cat is literally just as bonded as your infant.
My cat. Oh, yeah. People who are saying people without kids don't know what love is, you got to tone that down. You don't need to have kids to know what love is. But, like, cats are cats, people are people. This isn't that complicated. I don't know why we have to be having this conversation. Your cat is not the same as a human person.
Some people got really upset yesterday when I shared that a perk to not having kids is like not having to consider them a design choice. So here's more really stupid reasons to not have kids. You do not have to hang ugly art on your fridge.
Ugly art? Man, she's going straight for the jugular.
Instead of saving for college, I can buy original art.
Ew, original art. That's not even, no offense, but that's not even that good.
I don't have to spend Saturday mornings at soccer practice.
Actually, Saturday mornings are soccer games, Tiffany. Get it right.
Instead of diapers, I can buy lots of Starbucks. I don't have to share my snacks with anybody.
Are you like running out of snacks? My gosh.
I don't have to put plastic over my outlets. You can leave the house in like 10 minutes or less. You can spend a lot of time browsing at the store without kids ending up crying or like wanting things or like yelling at you. Since you don't have to buy Christmas presents for children, you can buy more Christmas presents for yourself. You can have sexy time, anytime, anywhere in the house. Since we don't have kids to fill up the extra bedrooms, I have my own bedroom and my husband has his own bedroom and I have an art studio.
Separate bedrooms. For some reason, that just doesn't really surprise me.
I don't ever have to put baby gates up. And before the comment section gets a little too out of control, these are not the reasons I don't have kids. But even if they were, it's not really anybody's business.
Why post about it? Why put it online? What are we doing here? What are we talking? What's happening?
I think lots of men say they want kids, but really what they want is a woman who wants kids so they can occasionally be someone who wants kids.
She's here to deliver hard truths. When you're this enlightened and you've got to like drop hard truths on people, it's tough. It's really tough.
So there's still some like statistics floating around that people like to post about saying that millennial dads are spending 3 times more time with their kids than previous generations. And while progress is fantastic,
Here we go. What's gonna happen?
I made the mistake of commenting on one of those reels and said, here's a reminder that 3 times more is actually still only 8 hours a week. And in that same study, it showed that housework is basically the same. Women are still doing the majority of care, and I think men's participation in that has gone up like an hour. So even in a home with 2 full-time working parents, women still carry the majority of the load. And boy, did I make people angry. I have men now calling me bitter. Why can't you just be happy for progress? Blah, blah, blah. Because 8 hours a week is pathetic. Yes, we should be happy for progress. But in like the original study was compared to like 1948. So should I really be proud of only 8 hours a week since 1948? No, I shouldn't. People are like, why don't women want kids? Why aren't more people, why is nobody having kids? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because it's 2024 and the majority of millennial dads are still only spending 8 hours a week with their kids.
Okay, so she calls this out in the caption, but she made a couple mistakes, unsurprisingly. And looking at this study, it actually says that this is not a comparison to dads in 1948, but from 1965. And also, the childcare did not go up 1 hour a week. It actually went up 6 hours a week. Now, how much of this is a function of, dads still working more than mothers? I'm not really sure, because every household is going to be a little bit different in how it divides the workload. And so these are averages taken over thousands of households, and so everyone is going to be a little bit different with how they balance out those loads. I mean, in any marriage relationship, you're going to want to try to balance the total amount of work between the two of you as best you can. So balancing that can be very difficult. It's certainly not always easy, and there's always giving and taking on both sides. But I'm just interested that she has so much of an opinion on this as someone who doesn't have kids. Well, I don't know why it matters so much to her. It seems like she just wants to be a crusader for a cause that she feels passionate about, which is fine. It's like the old classic thing. It's like, just because you're a hammer doesn't mean everything's a nail. I, for one, am glad that Tiffany has decided not to have kids, because I think there's enough mean-spirited parents. We don't need any more people raising kids with mean-spirited hearts, and because this is just, I don't know, dude. I just get bad vibes from her. We already know that statistically people are having fewer kids, and economically that's going to be a problem for my children per se, because not enough people are having kids. So when we're all old farts wasting away in nursing homes, somebody's got to keep the economy going. Somebody's got to keep the insurance companies running and hospitals running. Because what's going to happen is we're just going to have like a bunch of old people and no young people to support us, to support the economy. And why you would ever want to normalize this kind of thing, I don't really understand. Because if it becomes normalized and people just stop having kids, humanity ends. It's like, I don't know why anyone would view that as a good thing. I don't think it's an extreme position to say, like, I think humanity is a good thing. It's not perfect. We got problems. We're constantly trying to make things better. I think that's pretty beautiful. But yeah, I think having kids is cool. I think you should do it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you want to keep society going like me, if you want to hear about cultural trends. I mean, dude, I'm there, dude. I'm at the forefront. I'm reporting live on the scene. More topics like this coming at you always. This is Dan Doug. Stay cool, everybody.